hopefully.
Starting. It was 12:05.
Yep.
So we are translator is busy right now. We should be done by 12.
Remember what I said? Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go there. Try to push. Send me a message.
Yeah. Can you give Stacks the other players just come up, take them off the stage? I'll ask some questions.
Sure.
Hey, everybody. So we're waiting for our translator who needs about 10 minutes. We're going to start with the Vitality players first. And then when the translator arrives in 10 minutes, we'll continue with the joint press conference. Cool. So we will, Saif and Durka, I appreciate your accommodation for this one.
We're just sitting here.
And we'll start with Brandon from esports.gg.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll send this to Durka.
Yeah, that can stay.
Yeah, you've had success, obviously, with Fnatic, 2 international victories there. Now, your first year with Vitality, you're coming to the, very first Masters tournament. So I'd just like to ask, and maybe if Safe wants to chime in on this, do you feel like you're kind of the piece of the puzzle that's the success, on the teams when they center that kind of around you, and that's why these teams are successful? Or, where do you find your place in terms of success, having found it with 2 separate teams now, even though it's still kind of early in this year?
I mean, I think with the success is just like me doing my job. I think I do a lot more than probably most do this in EMEA in terms of like communication, what I want and stuff. Because I probably have also the best experience in that terms. So not many have that in EMEA. So I think when teams or orgs change that kind of a player, it's hard to kind of like fill in someone into that role without them getting that experience first. So I think me coming to Vitality, kind of like giving Save kind of some help with my role and us even having less and stuff, it gives Save kind of like fresh kind of start and makes it easy for him to be in an IGL. And I think like us 3 mainly like make each other's lives easier, because for me, like having Safe as an IGL and also X Duelist is like really easy to kind of like get set up and also just like talking what I want and stuff, and he makes those things happen. Then it's just easier for me to succeed in my role too.
Thank you. We'll take the next question is also going to go to Durka. It comes from Lucas Bouth from Stella Gaming. Durka, many people say that Vitality is a super team and have high expectations for the squad and its players. How do you handle these high expectations, especially in the team's first international event?
I mean, for me personally, I don't really care because I had that super team thing going on around me for a while. Like in Fnatic, everyone was calling us super team. Ever since we got like Leon Chronicle, for example, and even some that's before that, and now going to Vitality, I don't think that really changes for me. I think mainly kind of like for me, as long as the boys don't get pressured with it, it's all good. But I think, for example, I think Kicks probably is the one who will have that if you think about it. But I think the kid is dealing with it really well, and like I never felt like he's feeling any pressure. I think he's just chilling, and honestly, he looks like always super happy just to be here around us and just to play. I think he's enjoying it really much, and it's kind of like you don't really feel any pressure in the team or anybody stressing out.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Ravish.
Hi, everyone. Excited to be here. I'm Ravish from Canada, I think. I was going to say, just real quick, my question was to Safe. Safe, I want to ask a bit about your calling, because Dirk has spoken previously about how because of the trust in the team, him, Les, and many others have been allowed for essentially just individual play and freedom too. So I wanted to ask a bit about how you make it so that your team has both trust in you as well, to be able to allow it to have, just like the individual choice to how they move around the map, and how you kind of facilitate that as well.
I mean, it's a way of seeing the game. Let's say a lot of teams approach the game very structured, and you have these set rounds where you just do the same thing over and over again. and then sometimes you get new scenarios in them. But for at least for me and for my boys, I think when you get to, and I'm not saying one thing is better than the other, but when you reach a certain point of understanding, you start seeing that it doesn't really matter how you start the round. It doesn't really matter if Derken needs to go peak A or B. Like, you can do a lot of adaptations on the fly. And I think, well, how this team enables people to do what they want to do in the round is that we keep the same ideas, like at core, what we want to do throughout the round, but we're just making micro plays around the map or like doing different things on the map that still make sense, like within the same round. So I think what I would say is how we do this, like just TLDR, is we don't have something like super set in stone, and it's a chain reaction of everyone adapting to what one person wants to do, but we still maintain the core idea.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll go next to Chobra.
Thank you. Hey guys, Chober here from Korea. This is a question, we'll go with Safe here from Vitality. So now that you guys have finished the tutorial that's called VCT EMEA, what's it like to have to face up against real competition here at Masters Bangkok, starting with T1?
Exciting times ahead, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't say EMEA is the tutorial. I'd say like this year's EMEA had a lot of different type of styles, I guess, in terms of teams and how they play, and a lot of it is like you could kind of like matching up with how APAC play and how NA play as well. So I think you know, maybe it's the real deal here, but I don't feel so fussed about or so particularly excited to play. Let's say it's just another day at the office for us, I guess.
Gotcha. Thank you. And thanks for taking the question, and Jess, good luck.
Thank you. The next question is also coming to Safe. Is it very hard when you're duelist IGL? Actually, let me go to the next one. Safe. The term fragging IGL has started to get thrown around a lot with players like yourself, Nats, Mako, Valen, etc. How important do you think it is for this tournament for IGLs to be putting up strong numbers?
I mean, obviously it's important to kill in game. I think it's super important, but whatever role you play, even on the IGL. Like again, I think it's very different depending on what team you play for and like who you are as a player and how you contribute. Like we don't see inside team dynamics and how each individual player like contributes to the team. So I think it's like different for everyone. Let's say maybe me and Valen shoot, but maybe we contribute in a different way as well that enables us to do so. I still think the game is leaning in a way where it's super important that everyone, including the caller himself, has to frag and has to be able to put people down on sites in scenarios that he's going to get into. So I think that doesn't necessarily apply to all teams, but the game is leaning towards where this is more important.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Alan.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a question for Dirk. Hi, Dirk.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. I saw your Instagram recently that one of your fans like asking you like, are you sad that you can't win champs with Fnatic? And that's a really cool answer. Like, well, I will win without them. So will you win without them this year, or maybe like, or generally speaking, what is your expectation or anticipation of this year?
I mean, yeah, in that story, I was mainly saying just in general. I mean, of course, it's a thing that I'm not gonna win with them, so of course I'll win without them. And for me, this whole Fnatic thing is like every question I get to is like probably mentioned about Fnatic every day, and like people asking me about it or just mentioning it somewhere. And for me, it's kind of like it's a little bit boring. I feel like those people can move on from their ex teams or whatever. So I think for me, just like focusing on the future right now in Vitality, I want to like play with these boys. I want to like win with these boys. I'm having a lot of fun with them. So I don't really care about anyone else right now. And it's the same principle. Like if I played in Fnatic, I will not care what I had, like for example, in Crowd or like if people will not be asking me, oh, will you win champs with Crowd or whatever. Like I played team before that, you know, it's like new team, new fresh start. I just have a I just want to have new fresh air, new team, kind of like new players around me, and just win with them because I'm like currently having a lot of fun, and that's all it matters.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we are now joined by the T1 players on stage. So we will go to William Cho for the next question. Chobra?
Thank you. This is a question for Stacks. So when T1's new roster was formed this year, a lot of people said T1 might be a Korean super team. But now that we've seen what a super team is supposed to look like in Vitality, what do you think about your matchup against them?
일단 솔직히 말해서 슈퍼팀은 바이탈리티 쪽이 더 가까운 것 같고요. 저희도 개개인적으로 실력 좋은 선수들이 많긴 하지만 아직까지 부족할 부분이 많고 자신은 있지만 그래도 이제 바이탈리티가 조금 더 슈퍼팀 같아 보이긴 하네요, 제 눈에.
네, 감사합니다. 그리고 화이팅입니다.
Can we get the English translation?
Okay. So what Stack said was, well, I would say Vitality would be a little bit closer to what a super team looks like because we do have great talents on our roster as well, but we're not there yet. We still have work to be done. So yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting facing Vitality, but I would say Vitality definitely is what a super team should look like.
Thank you. The next
you.
question is to Meteor. You're pretty good at using the Sheriff during matches. When mentioning Sheriff, many viewers will think of you. Are there any tips on using this weapon that you can share with them?
메테오 선수에게 드리는 질문인데 메테오 선수가 워낙 셰리프 잘 쏘잖아요. 그래서 셰리프 하면 딱 메테오가 떠오르기도 하는데 셰리프 잘 쏘는 팁이 있을까요?
그건 그냥 에임이 좋아서 셰리프를 잘 쓰는 것 같습니다.
It just looks like I'm really good with the sheriff because I have good aim.
My bad.
My bad too.
Meteor, we got one more while you're on a roll. How does it feel qualifying for another Masters under a new team, even with familiar faces?
메테오 선수께 드리는 질문인데 이제 또 이렇게 국제대회에 출전하게 됐는데 익숙한 선수들이고 서로 잘 알기는 하지만 다른 팀을 대표해서 왔잖아요. 기분이 어떤가요?
일단 새로운 팀에서 마스터즈라는 무대에 온 것도 자랑스럽고 그리고 저희도 충분히 우승할 수 있다는 자신감이 있기 때문에 잘해보도록 하겠습니다.
Well, yeah, I think it definitely means a lot. I'm really proud of myself and my teammates for being able to qualify for an international event under the new team's banner, under T1 banner, actually. And I feel like I have enough confidence and I am very confident that we can win the whole thing. So I'll try my best.
Thank you. We'll go next to Arnab.
Hey
Arnab,
guys,
if you
hello. Can you
ahead.
hear me?
Yes.
Hey guys, first of all, congrats on qualifying once again. And my question is for Safe and Dappa both, actually. Safe, I remember talking to you after your upper qualifiers game, and you said that it would be interesting to play against Stax and Team because they are your favorites and you have always loved playing against them. Since you got that matchup, unfortunately at that time we didn't know what the matchups will be. I want to know your reactions as well as Darka's reaction against them, and same goes to Stax and Meteor as well. If you guys can share your thoughts on that.
I mean, they were practicing with us in EU, so it's I guess not surprising considering it's Riot Games that we're gonna play against T1, but I think it's gonna be fun at least because obviously like we had a little moment together when they were in Europe, so yeah, I guess I'm just excited. That's it.
이거 스택스나 메테오 선수도 얘기해 주시면 되는데 바이탈리티랑 좀 우정을 돈독히 했던 경험이 있었던 것 같아요. 유럽에서 좀 서로에 대해 어떻게 생각하고 있는지 궁금합니다.
저는 엄청 좋은 경험이었고요. 그리고 이제 그때 바이탈리티가 연습한 지 별로 안 됐음에도 불구하고 많은 좋은 모습을 보여줘서 상당히 기대하고 있습니다. 지금도.
그때 바이탈리티랑 스크림을 굉장히 많이 했었는데 질 때도 이길 때도 있었지만 질 때 좀 많은 걸 경험했고 얻은 게 많아가지고 좋은 상대 팀이었다고 생각합니다.
Well, Stax's answer was it was definitely a great, valuable experience. And even though when we pranked each other back then, Vitality was still a fresh roster and they haven't had much time to work on their teamwork. And yet they were still very good and still very strong. So I'm excited to see what they look like in the officials and on the stage now that they have plenty of experience playing as a team. And Meteor's answer was, yeah, we screamed them so much. And there were times when we would win and when we would lose. But when we lost to Vitality during those scrims or preps, we had a lot of takeaways. We learned a lot. So I think they were a great sparring partner.
Thank you, both of the teams, and best of luck. Looking forward to your games.
Thank you.
Thank you. Durka, this next one's coming to you. After 4 years with Fnatic, pretty much as long as the VCT has existed, how easy or difficult was it to settle into the new team? And what would you say are the main differences between Safe and Boaster's IGLs?
Settling in wasn't difficult, really. I think. I mean, yeah, I've known Safe for ages now, and then less I've known for competition. So I think only new faces I came to was just like the org itself that treated me really well, and then also just like kicks and tracks were kind of like new faces, even though of course I knew tracks from the competition as well somehow, but never talked to him that much. But I think coming in was just good. Everyone's like really passionate, everyone's hungry, everyone wants to win. So for me that was just good, and me and Les bringing some experience from our past, and then like Safe settling in as IGL was like everyone was just good, smooth. Everyone wanted to win. So I think a lot of that shared passion kind of like helped us. Main differences about Safe and Boster, I would say again, like Safe used to be a duelist before me. So me coming into this team, I get uh, more freedom than, for example, Boster will give me. And even though Boster will give me sometimes the freedom, but also he just likes set stuff and kind of like playing more, playing more kind of like precisely set. Kind of like, oh, you have to do these things and stuff, and be like disciplined and safer on the server. But for say, for example, as he said, it's kind of like we just run the things. People say what they want to do, and we just do and adapt. And I think that play style in this team suits us more than if you will just play discipline and stuff. Because sometimes you just have to go and kind of like do what you want and have some fun too. I think that's kind of like why people even started playing Valorant, because it was fun. And if you're not having fun, then there's no point playing.
Thank you. If there's any questions from the in-house media, please feel free to line up by the microphone and we'll start asking questions.
ค่ะถ้ามีคำถามสำหรับ2ทีมนี้มาที่ไมค์ได้เลยนะคะสำหรับสื่อไทย
In the meantime, Safe, we have one more question for you. During the grand finals of VCT EMEA kickoff, you played a total of 4 different agents, with each of them being from a different role. T1, in the eyes of many, is the Korean dream team. Other than your ability to be flex, what other skills do you feel that your teammates and you have to secure the win against T1?
I mean, we got good vibes. That's all there. Just the vibes, the spiritual energy in the air. We have the energy with us. So I mean, nothing I can put my fingers on right now. Like flex agent doesn't really matter. Just yeah, this team has good vibes, good players, and those in combo do well usually.
Who's the vibe merchant on the squad? Vibe merchant?
Usually they say it's me, but it's not. I think it's Kicks.
Yeah,
I think it's Kicks. Yeah.
What are the player comms like?
Sarcastic jokes and yeah, making fun of ourselves. Yeah.
Appreciate the insight. Thank you. We'll next go to Ravish.
Hi guys. I actually wanted to ask T1 a question too. I was gonna say, Meteor, specifically as well. Meteor, I remember I got to talk to you many years ago, way back in one of the first Masters that you attended. At the time, you mentioned that to be a good player, all you had to do was just shoot them and then they die. Was a really simple answer that you had because of how good you were on the server. Do you still hold that belief?
메테오 선수에게 드리는 질문인데요. 이분이 메테오 선수 마스터즈 좀 처음 출전하게 됐을 때 물어봤는데 어떻게 해야 좋은 선수가 될 수 있을까요? 라는 질문에 그냥 총을 쏘면은 상대가 죽으니까 잘 쏘면 돼요. 이런 식으로 대답을 했었는데 아직까지도 그 생각이 이어지고 있나요?
작년까지만 해도 그런 생각이 들었는데 요즘은 총을 다 잘 쏘다 보니까 이제 총을 잘 쏘는 대신 머리도 이제 조금씩은 써야 된다는 걸 많이 느끼고 있고 에임은 기본적으로 다 잘 쏜다 생각해서 이제 누가 더 똑똑하게 게임하냐 그 차이인 것 같습니다.
Yeah, up until last year, yes, I stood by it. But coming into this year, I feel like everyone is a shooter. Everyone can shoot. So now you got to have a little bit of brain in your play too. And so yeah, since everyone is a good aimer, I think what really differentiates good player from a bad one or a mid one would be how smart you can play the game.
Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
Thank you. We'll next go to Mohammed from VLR. If you can unmute your mic.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so this question is for Safe. So Safe, we've seen in the past that with Liquids before that you've primarily have been playing Raze, now switching back to a more flexible role, like how you did in maybe Guild or some of your teams in the past. How was the switch from that that position to a more flexible role, complementing the team as well as supporting your play calling style?
Not that hard because I mean people tend to forget because I only I was flashy when I was on Duelist, but people forget that I never played this game as Duelist from the start. Like I was playing Viper, Cypher, Killjoy. I was playing Sky, and then people saw me on Duelist and were like, "Oh, this guy's Duelist main." And then I'm like, "Bro, I never played. Like, I just picked up Duelist because my team needed it. So, me going back doesn't make a singular difference for me. I just like flexing in this game. I think it's fun, and I get easily bored if I play the same thing over and over again. So it caters to me very well. Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck for the tournament.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll go to Wandy next.
Yeah, hi guys. So this question is for Meteor. Regarding your post on Twitter after Pacific Kickoff, you say that you wanna play happily game. Could you share more with us on what you mean by that?
메테오 선수에게 드리는 질문인데 이제 킥오프 결승전 이후에 트위터 아니면 X에다가 이제 행복하게 발로란트를 하고 싶다라고 얘기를 했잖아요. 이거에 대해서 자세히 얘기해 주실 수 있나요?
우선 전 팀이었던 24년도 젠지에서는 좀 웃는 모습이 많았고 제가 게임을 했을 때 굉장히 즐겁다라고 생각을 많이 했었는데 팀을 변경하면서 좀 힘든 부분이 많았어가지고 그런 부분을 좀 까먹고 있어서 퍼포먼스적으로나 팀적으로나 좀 안 좋은 모습이 나왔던 것 같기도 해가지고 이제 마음을 다시 바꿔야겠다 생각이 든 것 같습니다.
Well, back in 2024 when I was in Gen G, I saw myself smiling a lot and really enjoying the game, and I really did. But switching teams coming into this year, there were a lot of challenges for me to take care of. And I think during the process of transitioning into a new team, I forgot that I need to enjoy the game. And I think that's part of the reason why, like individually and team-wise, there were some pieces missing and some lackluster performances sometimes. So that's when I told myself, hey, I really need to enjoy the game again and start with a fresh mindset.
Thank you. We'll now take a question from the floor.
ก็ถามตัวแทนทั้งสองทีมนะคะว่าการแข่งขันถ้าเปรียบเทียบแล้วอย่างเงี้ยการแข่งขันในปัจจุบันกับเมื่อก่อนเนี้ยมันแบบต่างกันยังไงบ้างแล้วเขารู้สึกว่าเฮ้ยตอนนี้มันมีอะไรที่ต้องแบบเติมเต็มหรือขาดเหลือไหมประมาณนี้ค่ะ
What are the differences between, since the format has changed? What do you think are the differences, and what are the things that you think that you need to improve, and what are the things that you think that you could have done better for this year? This is a question for both teams.
That's a great question.
Can you start? Yeah. Jen?
네, 일단 포맷도 대회 포맷이 바뀌었는데 우승을 위해서 아니면 좀 더 좋은 성적을 내기 위해서 어떤 부분을 좀 집중해서 봐야 하고 어떤 것들이 필요할까요?
일단 저는 좀 깊게 생각하지 않는 편이라서 아마도 저는 일단 포맷은 일단은 뭐 늘상 이렇게 뭐 바뀌는 거는 당연한 거니까 그거 말고 그냥 저희 조에서 바이탈리티랑 저희랑 이기는 팀이 높은 곳까지 갈 것 같다라는 생각밖에 안 들어요.
Well, regarding the format, like there's always been format changes, so no surprise. I'm not really looking too deeply into it, but what I do know personally, I feel like between Vitality and T1, I think the one that wins this game will make it really far into the tournament.
ค่ะก็สำหรับเรื่องที่ความแตกต่างนะคะรู้สึกว่าการเปลี่ยนแปลงเนี่ยมันมีมาตลอดอยู่แล้วก็เลยไม่ใช่เรื่องที่แปลกใจแต่สำหรับแมตช์ที่จะถึงระหว่าง Vitality กับ T1 เนี่ยเขารู้สึกว่าใครก็ตามที่ชนะในแมตช์เนี้ยค่ะจะไปได้ถึงรอบลึกๆได้แน่ๆ
Thank you. Durka, Saif, are you guys dodging this one or?
I mean, about the format, honestly, I don't know. It changes like they said, like every event and stuff, and also like I think in Madrid they played the same format maybe, but I wasn't in Madrid, so I don't know. And like other changes, I can't really say much.
Yeah, I have nothing.
All right.
Sorry.
Nah, we tried. All right. William Cho, we'll go next to you.
All right, thank you. I have another question for T1. This is for Stacks again. In the past, for Korean teams that have done well internationally, they've always had a very distinct style. So obviously for you, you know DRX very well, set plays, you know, all of that. And then last year's Shenji, it was about the defaults, the trading. So what do you think is kind of the uniqueness of T1? Or do you think you guys are still in the process of figuring out what T1's Valorant looks like?
작년에 젠지랑 그리고 잘 나갔었던 DRX에 모든 게 좀 합쳐져 있는 느낌이라고 보시면 될 것 같은 게 개인기량도 출중하고 이제 유연하기까지도 하고 그리고 이제 하고 싶은 것도 하면서 저희끼리 맞춰 나가는 모습이 조금 더 인상 깊을 것 같아.
Well, Stax's answer was, I would say T1 is the culmination of last year's Genji and also DRX when DRX was in its DRX era. Everyone has great aim individually, and we can be very fluid with our plays. And also we can adapt really quickly and really well to whoever we're playing. So yeah, I would say it's just a mixture of Genji and DRX at its prime.
Thank you. We'll take a question from the room next.
เชิญค่ะ
ครับตัวแทนจากคอนโทนจีนะครับขอถามทั้งสองทีมครับว่าในช่วงเวลาที่ผ่านมาเกม VALORANT เปลี่ยนชีวิตทุกๆคนไปเป็นยังไงบ้างแล้วคิดว่าการแข่งขัน VALORANT Master Bangkok นี้จะเปลี่ยนชีวิตพวกคุณอีกครั้งหรือเปล่า
This is a question for both team again. How Valorant have changed your life, and how do you think Masters Bangkok would change your life?
I mean, Valorant itself, I think, changed a lot. I mean, gave a job kind of. You travel a lot, you practice a lot, you go to office to play the game and stuff. It kind of like changes the way you just play the game in general because it's kind of like a job and not just for fun now. And then you get to travel a lot, play these tournaments, and it's kind of like, I mean, I love competition. So for me, going and playing into tournaments, I think it's just a really good feeling, and especially like winning them, I think is also the best feeling. Of course, like if you lose and stuff, it's like it sucks a little bit at first, but then it makes it all worth when you actually win. And about Bangkok, honestly, but first we have to see where it will go because I can't say right now.
이거는 티원에게도 드린 질문인데, 발로란트가 본인의 인생을 어떻게 바꿔놨는지, 그리고 방콕 우승하면 인생이 또 어떻게 바뀔 것 같은지 궁금하대요.
우선 일단 좀 발로란트를 하면서 굉장히 열심히 살고 있구나를 느끼고요. 그리고 방콕을 우승하게 된다면 한 해 스타트가 좀 좋은 스타트가 될 것 같아가지고 기분이 좋고 일단 우승을 함으로써 저희에게도 좀 더 자신감이 생기지 않을까 생각합니다.
Well, Valorant for me, it just makes me realize how hard I hustle every single day to be a good player, all the grinding. And also winning Masters Bangkok, it would mean that we would have a great start to this year and also would be a huge confidence booster for the team.
ค่ะสำหรับทีม Vitality นะคะสิ่งที่Valorant เปลี่ยนแปลงชีวิตพวกเขาเนี่ยก็คือเดินทางบ่อยขึ้นแล้วก็ซ้อมหนักขึ้นนะคะแล้วก็ตอนนี้เนี่ยเมื่อมันกลายเป็นการแข่งขันมันกลายเป็นเหมือนงานเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยการเล่นก็เปลี่ยนไปสไตล์การเล่นก็เปลี่ยนไปนะคะการชนะเนี่ยก็เป็นสิ่งหนึ่งที่เป็นความรู้สึกที่ดีที่เขารู้สึกว่าเป็นประสบการณ์ที่น่าจดจำนะคะส่วนการแพ้เนี่ยก็ทำให้เขาได้พัฒนาตัวเองขึ้นไปอีกส่วน Master ยังตอบไม่ได้ค่ะสำหรับทีม T1 นะคะ Valorant ทำให้เขารู้สึกว่าเขาเนี่ยต้องทำงานตัวเขาเองเนี่ยมีศักยภาพในการเล่นขนาดไหนแล้วก็ความขยันว่าจะต้องซ้อมหนักมากแค่ไหนนะคะแล้วก็การที่ได้ชนะแมตช์ต่างๆเนี่ยช่วยเสริมสร้างความมั่นใจให้พวกเขาได้อย่างมากค่ะ
Thank you. We'll take a question from the room.
ครับอยากจะถามทั้งสองทีมนะครับว่าคุณคิดว่าจิตวิทยาในการแข่งขันมีผลมากแค่ไหนต่อฟอร์มการเล่นครับและมีเทคนิคใดที่ช่วยให้ทีมคุณทั้งสองโฟกัสกับเกมได้ดีมากขึ้นครับ
อันนี้รู้สึกเหมือนเมื่อกี้ถามอีกทีมนึงใช่ไหมคะ this is sorry it's similar to the previous coach the previous session what do you think that mental preparation is important for both of the team and what do you do to prepare yourself mentally
Yeah, I think mental preparation is important, and I think anything you do in life, it doesn't need to be like something very specific. Could be your job, could be even walking the dog when you don't have energy to walk the dog. That's also mental preparation. So I think it's something very important in everything we do in your day-to-day tasks, and especially important tasks that you really want to focus on. And some things that I personally do is I mean, I listen to a specific kind of music. It could be some superstitious things to get your brain in the right zone. It could be waking up at a certain time or eating a certain food. And for me, I just like to listen to music and not talk so much to people in the morning, be on my own a little. And then once like you start going towards the venue or things like this, that's when things start ramping up. So yeah.
T1 선수들에게도 드리는 질문인데, 선수에게 멘탈 관리가 얼마나 중요하다고 생각하나요? 그리고 멘탈 관리 개인적으로 어떻게 하시나요? 라고 물어봤는데, 세이프 선수는 개 산책할 때도 필요한 게 멘탈 관리라, 본인은 음악을 듣고 아침에 사람들이랑 말 별로 안 한다고 뭐 그러는데, 특별한 멘탈 관리 방법이 있을까요?
일단 엄청 중요하다고 저도 생각을 하고 뭐 노래 듣는 것도 중요하고 사람마다 다 다르겠지만 저는 일단은 그냥 너무 그냥 많은 것에 신경 쓰지 말고 그냥 발로란트에만 집중을 하다 보면은 좋은 것만 듣고 좋은 것만 볼 수 있어서 그런 걸로만 그냥 행복하게 살 생각입니다.
Well, yeah, definitely listening to the right type of music is important. But I think for me, how I mentally prepare myself would be not to be concerned or worried about specific things or other things. Just focus on Valorant and, listening to good music, watching positive stuff with good energy. you know, just focusing on that great energy, having that good vibe around me. And yeah, I think I mentally prepare myself like that for Valorant, but also for a happy life as well.
ค่ะสำหรับทีม Vitality นะคะเขารู้สึกว่าการที่จะเตรียมตัวในด้านเชิงแบบจิตวิทยาเนี่ยเป็นสิ่งที่สำคัญมากนะคะไม่ใช่แค่การเล่นเกมแต่สำหรับทุกๆอย่างในชีวิตเพราะว่าการที่เราจะทำอะไรเนี่ยเราจะต้องต้องพร้อมอะค่ะไม่ว่าจะเป็นการเดินจูงหมาหรืออะไรก็ตามแต่ก็คือต้องพร้อมอยู่เสมอนะคะแล้วก็มันเป็นสิ่งสำคัญมากที่เขาจะต้องเตรียมตัวสำหรับเซฟเองเนี่ยเขาชอบฟังเพลงค่ะ ก็คือฟังเพลงที่ช่วย boost energy เขาแล้วก็ตอนเช้าเนี่ยเขาจะเทคนิคของเขาคือจะพยายามไม่คุยกับใครค่ะส่วนของทีวันนะคะก็เช่นกันค่ะก็คือชอบการฟังเพลงนะคะเพลงที่ฟังแล้วสบายใจนะคะแล้วก็ไม่กังวลกับอนาคตข้างหน้ามากเกินไปนะคะแล้วก็โฟกัสกับสิ่งที่ทำอยู่พูดง่ายๆก็คือเขาชอบการฟังเพลงที่ทำให้ตัวเขาเองเนี่ยมีการคิดบวกนะคะหรือว่ามี energy ที่ดีเป็นการแบบช่วย boost energy ค่ะ
ครับผมจาก FPF Thailand นะครับผมในแมตช์ที่เจอกันครับคิดว่าฝ่ายตรงข้ามมีอะไรที่น่ากลัวบ้างครับทั้งสองทีม
This is a question for both team. What do you think is the most intimidating things about the other team?
그 상대 팀 있잖아요. 바이탈리티를 봤을 때 가장 견제되는 부분이 뭐라고 생각하세요?
Stacks' height.
Yeah, I never had when shelling. 저는 세이프 선수랑 킥스 선수가 조금 흥분했으면 좋을 것 같아요. 그럼 제가 이길 것 같아요. 너무 차분해서
Don't
이게
worry, yeah.
예, 너무 차분해서 이게 보여요. 전 이게 쟤네들의 그 키포인트라는 게 보여서 좀 흥분하게 만들면 어떻게 해야 될까? 그게 제일 좋을 것 같아요. 아니, 흥분하게 만들면 제일 좋을 것 같아요.
I think I would want Kicks and Safe to be tilted or overly excited because they usually are very calm and collected. So it's easy to figure out their weakness. So if they get overly hyped, they overextend, or if they get angry, they will crumble for sure. That is our key point.
สำหรับ Vitality นะคะเขารู้สึกว่าสิ่งที่น่ากลัวที่สุดสำหรับทีม T1 ก็คือความสูงของ Stacks ค่ะแล้วก็สำหรับทีม T1 นะคะเขาอยากให้ Kicks กับ Safe นะคะโมโหค่ะเพราะเขารู้สึกว่าการที่ทำให้อีกฝ่ายหนึ่งแบบโมโหหรือว่ามีอารมณ์ขึ้นมาได้เนี่ยมันคือจุดอ่อนแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าเขาสามารถที่จะรู้ว่าจุดอ่อนนี้คืออะไรเขาสามารถที่จะทำให้อีกทีมพ่ายแพ้ไปได้อย่างแน่นอนค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you. We'll go to Yinsu next.
Hello. Apologies if this already been asked. I missed the middle part of the press conference, so it has just told me to go away. I have two questions. One is for both Safe and Meteor. Now, within your region, you're both very respected ISO players, and you don't get to play against really that many other players that do play ISO. So in the event that you will go up against each other on ISO, first of all, I want to see what you think about the other person's ISO. And second of all, please give me a prediction how many times you're going to kill the other person in the ultimate.
I mean, I think Meteor is insane, but to be honest, I'm not that good on ISO. Like, I'm not that great. I don't think I win many ults because you should see in MEA. I think I won one ult out of like.
It's actually 65% of your ults you win. I did the math, yeah.
Well, that's over 50%. So I guess it's okay, but I still think like I'm gonna get humbled.
So how many times do you think you're gonna be able to take him down in the kill count?
How many do we have in total, you think? Like, let's say out of 6?
Go for it. Out of 6?
3.
All right. Okay.
That's political.
메테오 선수에게도 드리는 질문인데요. 일단 뭐 서로가 세이프 선수도 그렇고 메테오 선수도 서로의 지역에서 아이소를 잘하는 걸로 굉장히 유명한데 사실 지역에서는 다른 아이소를 하는 선수를 많이 상대 안 해봤잖아요. 그래서 상대 아이소에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 그리고 궁 써서 1대1 했을 때 누가 몇 번 이길 것 같냐고 질문이 들어왔는데 세이프 선수의 답변을 좀 통역해 드리자면 메테오 선수가 훨씬 잘하고 자기 아이소는 메테오 선수의 아이소에 비하면 별론데 이제 궁을 별로 못 이겨봤대요. 한 번 이겼나 했는데 사실 인수가 얘기한 승률로는 65%의 궁 승률이 있다고 하더라고요. 그래서 평타 치는 것 같다라는 반응이었고 메테오 선수와 뭐 6번 궁을 써서 1대1을 뜬다면 그중 3번은 이길 것 같다라고 얘기를 했습니다.
일단 세이프 선수의 대회를 많이 좀 챙겨봤는데 궁은 계속 지시더라고요. 저는 다 이기거든요. 그래서 뭐 궁을 데리고 간다면은 거의 다 이길 것 같고요. 그리고 솔직히 저는 저희 둘뿐만 아니라 저는 알파이에르 선수가 굉장히 잘한다고 생각하기 때문에 알파이에르 선수 아이소를 요즘 많이 참고하고 있습니다.
Well, yeah, I did watch. Like I followed up with how Safe plays ISO. Every time I watch him, he would lose the kill contract, but I win all of them. So for me, it would be kill contract. For him, it would be a death sentence if we do get to play each other on the ISO. But other than that, I feel like I think Alpha Air is a great ISO player. So I've been kind of watching how he plays the ISO too.
I had to teach him, by the way, so I I had to teach Alpha because he was losing every single duel in practice.
I will say that Durka does have 100% win rate in the kill contract of all time on ISO. Indeed, yeah, 100%.
He's only done one.
No, it was 8 out of 8 on Icebox. I think it was against you at one point. Yeah.
We won against him on Icebox 13 too.
There you go then. My second question actually is for Durka. Now, I've seen the hardship that you've had to go through being here playing without skins on your account. Could you tell me on your team who's best with a default skin and who is worst with a default skin?
I actually can't remember who was the best. I think Pedro was whiffing. I think I mean Save got the skin, so he didn't play default. I think it was only me, Trex, and Kicks who didn't have skins. So I'll say Kicks was the best. I was probably the worst because I need the skin so bad. Because if I don't have the sound and the dopamine that gives them, it just annoys me a lot.
All right, thank you very much.
Material girl.
Slay.
All right. We are going to take one more question. Scott Robertson, if you'd be so kind as to close this out.
That's a lot of pressure. Thank you. This question is for Durka. I just want to get your thoughts on what you are hoping for out of the new duelist that's going to be shown at this event.
Ooh. They're gonna show it. Or what?
Yeah, at the end
At the final,
yeah.
probably. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because the team is about those. I don't know. Honestly, I think I just hope it has some movement ability because there's a lot of duelists that they made that don't move. There's only like only viable duelist that you can play as a main duelist is probably only like Jet and Race. If you play anything else, you're kind of trolling. Like if I pick Phoenix, yeah, I have the flash and the wall maybe, but I cannot dash forward, so it doesn't like it doesn't matter when people molly me or like stop me somehow. Just round the ends there. So I just want something more playable against these metas, so you can just go through and make the space for the team. Because if there's more like ISO, Phoenix, and those agents, then it just gets really boring and you cannot play them anyways.
Thank you. We're actually going to do one more question. We'll take it from Jane to close us out.
Yes. The question goes to Patitek. What was the reason for choosing?
Patitek is on
Patitek.
s-
Yeah.
He's not on stage.
Oh, sorry. The question is for T1. T1 has a strong fan base in Thailand, and previously, like Thai team did the cheer sticker for you. Do you have any message for Thai fans who will be cheering for you at this event?
일단 저도 일단 너무 응원해 주시는 걸 감사하게 느끼고 있고, 그리고 이제 저 타일랜드 이제 CJR 선수 피클라라는 선수도 있는데 어제도 재밌게 촬영을 했고 응원해 주는 모습이 너무 고마워서 좋은 모습으로 보여드리겠습니다.
I would first like to say thank you. I really appreciate the Thai fans supporting us. And we actually shot a content with CJRS Kla, and it went well. So I think it's going to be fun. And yeah, thank you.
ค่ะก็คำถามจากคุณเจนนะคะก็คืออยากจะมีอะไรฝากถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยหรือเปล่าจากทางทีวันนะคะเขาก็บอกว่าที่จริงก็เพิ่งถ่ายคอนเทนต์กับพี่กล้า CGIS ไปนะคะก็รอชมกันค่ะ
Thank you so much. T1, Vitality, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. This will conclude the press conference, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes with the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.